My name is Tom Peterson, and I'm the curator here at the Carriage and Western Art Museum of Santa Barbara. For exactly 40 years, from 1861 to 1901, stagecoaches like the one behind me traveled over San Marcos Pass and through the rugged throat of Gaviota Pass. These stagecoaches were a symbol of the Old West, and I think most of us, our first exposure to them was a Western movie. The stagecoach behind me is the Los Olivos coach, and it was built in 1850 by Henderson and Sons in Stockton, California. This actual coach started at the Arlington Hotel and went to Maddie's Tavern and back. It was an 8-hour trip. It was 25 cents to make the trip. We have several stagecoaches in our collection like this one here today. We have the Luton stagecoach that was from Los Alamos, and we also have the Saugus stagecoach, and both of them have been restored. The difference in those two coaches that we have in our collection today, there's the Concord coach that we saw in most of the movies that had doors and windows. They made mud wagons like this one behind me, again by Henderson and Sons, and they were made lighter, they were cheaper to make. This coach cost $875 in 1850, and they were built for outlining lines like here. It took 6 horses to get up to the top of San Marcos Pass, and they changed horses up at Kennevin's and then went down the pass. The Saugus stagecoach picked up the mail in Saugus and then went down to Rincon, and went around Rincon. They waited for the tide to come down, and they beat it around the corner. Hopefully it didn't get stuck in the sand and get robbed by the robbers at those points, and then came back. Which was going over San Marcos Pass that left the Arlington Hotel and on the way to Maddie's Tavern had to go up slippery rock, and it was probably one of the most dangerous roads in Santa Barbara County. People think today that the stagecoaches were robbed because of the strong box, and that's not true. They were robbed mostly for the passengers on there and what they had on. What they had on their person, you know, jewelry and money, and a lot of times there were salesmen that went from, because they were called stagecoaches, they went from stage to stage, and they went to different towns, to different general stores, and they all paid in cash. So they had to pick up the cash for the last order, take the new order, and they had the cash on him, and the robbers knew that, and they were robbing the stagecoaches for those reasons. We have 2 whips, one belonging to Celine Carrillo, who was the last stagecoach driver to commercially drive a stagecoach over San Marcos Pass in 1901. The other whip belonged to Ted Whitney, who also drove stagecoaches over San Marcos Pass and is pictured by the stagecoach that's behind me at the courthouse in 1954, and his whip is in the picture also. 1901 was the end of the stagecoach travel here in Santa Barbara County, although there was still some stagecoach travel over San Marcos Pass. In about 1903, Joel Fithian, who owned the Fithian Ranch in Carpinteria, got together with the fellow that owned the Potter Hotel, and they decided they were going to give tourists rides over San Marcos Pass. So they met him at the Arlington Hotel and different stops around Santa Barbara, and took him up San Marcos Pass, and then brought him back down and gave him lunch. So they got to see the nice views of Santa Barbara from San Marcos Pass that they wouldn't normally see if they were on a train ride from LA to San Francisco.